one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. I say these words to you tonight. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
In the hollow of your hand. Lord, we just pray that you would bless this nation and you would send revival from the East Coast to the West Coast, that we would see our schools turned around, our nation turned around. We would see young people, Lord, get involved. I pray for pastors to take the pulpits and be leaders and help rebuild the culture of America. Lord, I pray for boldness and courage to come on people. Good American people who love God and who love this nation. Help us, Lord. Help us to have conviction to get out and vote, to get registered to vote. This is a spiritual battle, but it's also a natural battle. And if we'll do our part, you'll do your part, Lord. And so we're calling on you. And the Lord bless and keep us. Make your face shine on us. Be gracious unto us, America. Lift up your countenance upon us and give us peace and your blessing. In Jesus' name we pray. Everybody say
take back America, we take it back down a path that it belongs on. The train's going down the wrong track, folks, and it's time to put the train back on the right path. With your help, we can make that happen in November. The times I've been with the president and the times I've had the opportunity to host Don Jr. on our family farm in South Georgia, I know the heart and soul and the passion that they have for America. Not only that, as your ag commissioner, I know the heart and soul they have for our nation's backbone, which is agriculture. And right now we have an administration that doesn't believe in the power of agriculture, that doesn't believe in the power of the people, that doesn't believe in our ability to govern ourselves. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and the Trump White House will turn that around and we'll send it back in the right direction. We won't have illegals crossing the border. We'll ensure that America stands strong. America First agenda will always rule, and we'll ensure that our country heads down the right path, a God-fearing path, a path back to prosperity. Earlier this week, there was a message in this same building. A message from a Democratic Party that I consider pretty undemocratic right now. They don't know where we need to go. They don't support our men and women in arms. They don't support our men and women in blue, but I can tell you who does. The President, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, they support our men and women in arms. They said the 13 names at the Republican National Convention, and I was honored to be in that crowd to hear those 13 names read out, because this administration has never said the names of the 13 that were killed in Afghanistan. This administration will stand up for those men and women who will lay down their life for us. And every single day, those men and women lay down their life for us, for the freedom that we have, whether they are in law enforcement, they're EMTs, they're in our prison systems protecting us from those who do bad against us and wrongs, or they're in our men and women, they're in our military. And if you serve in any of those capacities, thank you. And so right now, I want you to join me as we honor the flag that they all stood to represent, that they all have bled for, that they have fought for, that we owe them everything for. The flag that represents our future, our freedom, our America, our ability to continue to move down the right path. So if you'll join me in honoring the flag of our nation in our Pledge of Allegiance. Y'all join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless you. God bless America. Let's go to fight. Let's win in November. Don't keep power.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hannah Harden to sing our national anthem.
Thank y'all for being here. Are we ready, Georgia? To vote for Donald J. Trump in November for our next president of the United States of America? Please join me as we sing our national anthem. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh,
that our children grow up in a safe environment where freedom is cherished and respected. This is the most important election of our lifetime, and it's our responsibility to take action. Becoming a Trump captain is a commitment, but it doesn't have to consume your life. A few hours a day spent knocking on doors, making phone calls, delivering yard signs, or even hosting a gathering at your home can make a significant impact. I promise you, those few hours are nothing compared to the future we can build together. Let's take a moment to reflect on the current situation. It's hard to believe that it has become acceptable for millions to cross our borders illegally. Right? No consequences, they're just being let in. They're being provided cell phones, prepaid cards, hotel rooms. If we don't take a stand, we risk losing these individuals and they gain voting rights, our voting rights. As an American, this should make you furious. We're talking about hard-earned tax dollars being used for people who aren't here even legally. And let's not forget the heartbreaking statistics of fentanyl deaths, the violence against our children, and the attacks on our law enforcement. It's overwhelming, and it's our job to put a stop to it. When I find myself feeling overwhelmed or worried about the state of the world, I think of President Trump. I think of the challenges he's faced, the sham charges, the relentless media attacks, and the attempted assassination. So we have a job to get out there and do our part for President Trump. I want you to raise your phones, and there's a QR code to join the Trump Force 47.
I'm so happy you all came out to see me. So, my name is Michaela Montgomery. A lot of you guys know me as the girl from Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that. Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network, so put some respect on my name. Now, why don't we jump right into it? See, as a young single mother, I can tell y'all that rent is too damn high. This woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. Woo! See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families? I wonder if Mrs. Willie Brown, a black woman, is also with her. A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie? The same black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for black people, she identifies as an Asian woman. She chose her side and it wasn't ours. When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating 500,000 new black businesses, and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their communities. And why are we acting like strong borders aren't a thing in the world? Since when has being patriotic been a crime? See, a few weeks ago at the debate, Trump mentioned black jobs, and a lot of people got in an uproar as if they didn't you. That, hey, abortion is a right and you need to protect your medical freedoms. Remember that they took those freedoms away from men and women the second they got in office, and there's nothing stopping them from doing it again. Clock it. So lastly, again, I'm going to encourage you all to vote based on the facts and not feelings. Oh, he made me feel so bad when he said that. Okay, but they hurt your families when they sent all your tax dollars overseas. Oh, it hurts my feelings when he acts like that. Okay, but it hurts all of us when you see an administration failing their country that they were elected to represent. In which case, I'm going to leave y'all with, hey, mama, daddy, I made it. And my baby girl, Amaya, is somewhere in here, so if we can all say, hey, Amaya, in unison, because she's the real superstar, y'all. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get riled up and ready for Big T himself. Thank you guys for having me. I look forward to seeing you all. And before I get started, I want to take a moment to thank Trump and all of his members of his campaign for seeking out brave Americans across this country to share our stories with you. However, there's no one braver than Trump himself. The moment he announced his candidacy, they tried to silence him. They even tried to kill him. And as recently as a few weeks ago, they even tried to kill him in our own country. That should scare you. So when we got a call to stand alongside one of my biggest heroes as he takes on the establishment to fight on for all of our rights, of course, I was determined to be here and show my unwavering support. As the daughter of a veteran who's in the crowd today, who served in the U.S. Army, I grew up having an immense sense of pride in our country. And although we're a family of immigrants from the beautiful island of Haiti, our family migrated to the United States of America in search for the American dream. I speak to you today as a concerned American, but most importantly, as a mother of two homegrown Georgians, because I believe in the American dream, even though it's slipping away for so many. As a small business owner and real estate advisor for Atlanta Fine Homes, Sotheby's International Realty, I advise clients at all different price points on how to manage their real estate portfolios and build wealth through real estate. However, the dream of owning a home for many under the age of 40 is also fading away, as interest rates at their peak under Biden have soared to 7.5%, which is a stark contrast to the interest rates under Trump at 2.75 at their lowest. So what does that actually mean to all of you? That means when you go home, prices for your homes have risen about 60%. That means about $1,100 extra a month you have to pay for a house. So kiss Disney goodbye, because of course you can't afford to save for that on average under Biden. Unfortunately, under Biden and Harris, because Lord knows she's running too. Under the Biden-Harris administration, households are stretching themselves thin just to provide for basic necessities for their family. I've literally watched the American dream disappear for millions within a matter of 1 year when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris stepped into office. Not only did Trump leave them with inflation at 1.2%, and I just want to make sure we emphasize, inflation when he left was 1.2%. Don't let the media try to confuse you or rewrite history.
Guys, I got great news for you today. If we do our job, the next president of the United States is going to be Donald J. Trump. When Donald Trump got elected in 2017, this country was a mess. The world was very dangerous. I was blessed to be invited to the White House 2 weeks after he was inaugurated to set the agenda for those first 4 years. He laid it out very succinctly. There were only 8 people in the room. He said, we're going to work on the economy, energy, taxes, and this little well-known bill called Dodd-Frank, and save our community banks. Well, guess what? He created the best economic turnaround in our history, y'all. He helped 6.5 million people pull themselves out of poverty. We became energy independent, for goodness sake. And you know what? He made our borders secure. He stood up to China. He stared down Kim Jong-un. He sanctioned Putin. He told NATO, pay up or we're out. He got us out of that insane Paris Climate Accord that had us paying trillions of dollars unnecessarily. And most of all, he got us out of that insane Iran nuclear deal. But most of all, he stood up for our #1 ally. And after 3 presidents would not do it, he moved the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. I didn't come here to tell you how good the next 4 years are going to be. If I have to do that, I've come to the wrong meeting, y'all. I'm a native Georgian. I know what 75 looks like on Friday afternoon. But I'm here to tell you, if we don't do our job, President Trump is not going to get reelected. Here's what we have to do. We have to vote. You can't come to these meetings and not vote. You got to vote. You'd be surprised how many people sit in church with you and they're not registered. Oh, I've heard the stories. Oh, I don't want jury duty. I don't want the federal government to find me. Guess what, Bubba? They already know where you are. If you don't like government, elect Kamala and then watch what happens. We're not going to let that happen. I promised Donald Trump recently that we would get more volunteers than we've ever had in the state of Georgia. So in addition to voting, you've got to sign up and work. We can't win without you. Tonight, right now, some of you signed up on the way in. Many of you did not. I promise and volunteer. It's idle unless you do that. When I left the United States Senate under uncertain terms in January of 2021, a newfound friend of mine gave me a Bible. I look at it every day. In the back of that Bible, he penned the following words. If you know these words and you'll recognize them, say them with me. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I'll not forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up with you today and fight for her still today. Because there ain't no doubt, I love this land. God bless the USA. Thank you for being here. God bless you. God bless Georgia. God bless Donald Trump. God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Georgia's 3rd Congressional District, Brian Jack.
Well, I raised underneath the shade of a Georgia pine. That's home, you know, sweet tea, pecan pie, homemade wine, where the peaches grow.
Thank you all very much. My name is Brian Jack. I am from Fayette County, Georgia. And I have had the privilege of spending the last 8 years of my life working for the greatest president of our lifetime, President Donald J. Trump. With the support of many of y'all in this arena and the endorsement of President Trump, inarguably the most powerful endorsement in the history of American politics, I stand before you today as the Republican nominee for Georgia's 3rd Congressional District. And since the media and some in the media and the radical left over and over lie and smear President Trump's name, I thought I would share a little bit about the President Trump for whom I've worked for 8 years, the President Trump that I know. Back before he ran for president in the 1980s, there was a family farm in Burt County, Georgia. Anybody from Burt County's here? Y'all know this story. But in the 1980s, there was a family farm in Burt County, Georgia that was about to face foreclosure. A tragedy had befallen this family, and a widow was at risk of losing everything she and her family had. The local community was outraged, and it became a national story, and it came across the desk of a certain New York City businessman named Donald J. Trump. The widow's phone rang, and on the other end of the phone was none other than our great president, Donald J. Trump. And I want to tell you what he did. He said, though I've never met you, I'm moved by your story. I want to fix this problem for you. So he went out, he raised $100,000 to take this lady back into the black and ensure that she was able to provide for her family and ensure that that house was not going to be foreclosed upon. That is the President Trump that I know, and that is the man we must re-elect. You fast forward a little bit, in 2017, just after his historic election inauguration, in April of 2017, many of us may remember the I-85 bridge collapse just up the road. And thanks to the brave first responders, not one life was lost in that tragedy. I was working at the White House at the time, and I talked to President Trump about it. And he looked at me and said, let's get those heroes to the White House. So what should have been a routine 15-minute photo opportunity with the brave first responders from the Atlanta Police Department, Atlanta Fire Rescue Department, and Georgia State Patrol, what should have been a 15-minute photo opportunity turned into a 2-day celebration from the Roosevelt Room to the Oval Office, and President Trump opened the White House bowling alley and bought way too many pizzas for us to count, for all of us to enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the President Trump that I know, and that is the man we must re-elect. And just 3 weeks ago today, a monster tried to take the life away from President Trump. But the first thing he did was get back to the podium and reassure the thousands of people in attendance and the millions of people watching that not only was he okay, but that we must fight, fight, fight. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the President Trump we know, and that is the man we must re-elect. We are inspired by President Trump's message, and we're motivated to win, but we have got to turn out to vote. In our primary election, our state's primary election, this past May, just a few months ago, Republican turnout in our state was 11%. In my runoff election, Republican turnout was 8%. And in our last presidential election for president, turnout across our state was 67%. We have got to do better. When you think about that, 67%. So if you're in line at Publix, or if you're at Chick-fil-A right before that breakfast window closes, and there are 10 people ahead of you, 3 of them did not vote. So our call to action when we leave this rally today should be very clear. Go home, pull up your phone book, message your friends and family, ask them, are you registered to vote? Because if you're not registered to vote, we've got to make sure you are before October. And if you are registered to vote, make sure that you have a plan to get out and vote early when it opens and vote out on election day if that's your preference. Because ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump took a bullet for us. The least we can do is get out and vote for him. My name is Brian Jack. I'm the Republican nominee for Georgia's 3rd Congressional District, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you to ensure that J.D. Vance is our next Vice President and Donald J. Trump is the 47th President of the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman Mike Collins.
Man, I tell you what, it is great to see so many beautiful Trump supporters packing this place out. Now, you know, the media made such a big deal about the twerk concert that went on earlier this week. They said we'd be real nervous about packing this joint out. So I told the campaign, y'all, I did. I told the campaign, I said, I can get out there and twerk for these folks. They said, not only do we not need you to twerk, let me tell you something. Donald Trump has never needed a gimmick to draw a crowd. Trump. Y'all, I am Congressman Mike Collins. I'm just a good old boy that's made a living in the trucking business. There we go. We got some truckers in this crowd today. Thank you for what you do. Like Trump, I spent the majority of my career in the private sector until getting elected to Congress just this past time. But what I want to tell you is, I'm proud of something, y'all. Way back in 2016, before Trump was a nominee, by God, I jumped on that Trump train. I bought me a ticket on the Trump train, and I've been shoveling coal ever since. And y'all, man, after 9 years and one heck of a ride, you couldn't drag me off this train for the next 94 days. I don't care what you do. And if I need to, I'm gonna get out there and push this thing across the line in first place, and I'm gonna need you to be standing right there with me. So, do not, under any circumstances, let anything get between you and getting your vote counted. Go vote early. If you got a vote absentee, get it in early. Do not wait, y'all. I don't care if you're a long-haul trucker, a long-distance runner, or an all-night hunter. You make sure you go vote, you get that ballot in, you get it mailed in way before the deadline. We need you on this. Now listen to me, y'all. I know we got problems at the post office. We do. I've been over there trying to help improve that thing. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I like my mail carrier. But every once in a while, that management and them bureaucrats up there, y'all, they need to see what a size 12 boot looks like. And let's talk about some problems. Because boy, I tell you what, Kamala Harris, man, that woman's a mess. The world is blowing up. Our country's going down the toilet. And y'all, she makes Joe Biden look like a steady hand at the wheel. You know, Kamala Harris is like the Stacey Abrams of California. And here's what's so ironic. Stacey Abrams is the Kamala Harris of California also. But if all that don't make sense, here's all you gotta remember. Georgia didn't want Stacey, and we don't want Kamala. country's been screaming. Let me write a sequel. I was gonna call it the Redneck Elegy. But I was told there was already a movie made like that. It's called Smokey and the Bandit. No, I'm kidding. Listen, JD was a bold pick and a fantastic addition to this ticket. I've had the opportunity to work with JD some in Congress on the Hill, and this guy is a sharp tactician, America First policy. He can help push that policy on the Hill, and we're gonna need him come January 1st next year. Now, let's talk about Congress for a second, real quick. Congress, y'all, is made up with around 65% of the time is up. Republican conference is made up of about 65% of America First Republicans. That's why I'm going to spend my time between now and November out there growing that majority. That's right. So when we get our captain back on the ship, he's going to have the largest majority of America First members in Congress that we have ever had. Sons and daughters to these illegal. That's right, illegal aliens that are out there invading our country. We're gonna stop the gangs. We're gonna stop the fentanyl. We're gonna stop the sex trafficking. Everything that these outside invaders are doing to destroy America, we're gonna stop the destruction of this country. We put Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in the White House, and we have a Congress that is actually gonna have his back this time. I got to hurry, but I got one more thing I want to say.
Do it, Mike! Do it, Mike!
I was very proud to sponsor the Lake and Riley Act. You know, we dropped that bill on a Friday, got it out of rules on Tuesday, and we passed that thing through the House on Thursday. And y'all, we had 37 Democrats go with us on that bill. That's how freaking bad that border is down there. But our border czar, Kamala Harris, stood right here. Stood right here, y'all, earlier this week. And y'all, she never even mentioned her name. Never mentioned her. That's a disgrace. Let me tell you something. If Kamala Harris really wanted to win Georgia, she'd get right over there and she'd tell those two U.S. senators, Warnock and Ossoff, to get off their butt, pass this common sense legislation out of the Senate. Now, here's the last words, I promise. Last words. Y'all, I was there in 2016. Man. I could feel the energy. You could feel it. And I've been out there with Trump, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, doing whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, Georgia. This is home, sweet home. This is home. I love you.
I love every single one of you. I tell you what, this feels like a room full of friends and family. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. And Georgia, I really want to talk to you about the serious mission that all of us are on together. This has nothing to do with our skin color, our gender, our politics. It has nothing to do with any of that. This is about our mission with our home state. Because let me tell you all, the road to the White House goes directly through the state of Georgia. And our mission is clear. We remember back in 2016 when Donald Trump stepped on the stage in the Republican primary election, and he took a sledgehammer to the Washington establishment. And the crime he really committed in 2016 was defeating Hillary Clinton. And the deep state and the globalists and the Washington elite, they have been after him ever since. They've come after that man with lie after lie, smear after smear, from the Russia hoax to impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2. They came after President Trump. And then our election, Georgia, was stolen from us. Right down the road from here with a water main break. That's right. And then it all changed. And we watched the Democrats shut this country down and destroy our freedoms over a virus that came from China. We watched the Democrats, Kamala Harris herself, support riots in city streets across America, burning, looting, and taking away the rights from Americans. Kamala Harris shared a bail bond link to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to put criminal rioters back on the streets that murdered and looted and caused chaos. That's right. And we've seen Kamala Harris stand side by side with Joe Biden, the dementia-ridden president, and we've watched them destroy America for nearly 4 years now. This is a shame. Today in America, senior citizens are struggling between paying their rent and buying their medications. Today in America, young people are having to face the very idea they may never be able to afford a new home or the American dream. Today in America, there's a steady invasion at the southern border every single day, and 10 to 20 million of illegal aliens have been brought into this country, and you, the American taxpayer, are being forced to pay for it. That's right. And innocent Americans like Laken Riley, but Laken Riley's not the only one. She is the face of here in Georgia, but Americans all over the country are the victim of illegal alien crimes, rape, murder, and mayhem, and fentanyl poisonings. This is Kamala Harris's America. We have lived it for nearly 4 years. This is what the Democrats are doing to us. And you know what? The self-declared fourth branch of the government, the legacy media, what are they doing? They are lying about everything. They promote their candidates, they promote the destruction of America through Democrat policies, and they use their powerful platforms to do it. Are we going to allow this to continue? The real danger we face is this. The Democrats are the party destroying democracy. They waged a coup against Joe Biden, and then they held a coronation for Kamala Harris and declared her the Democrat candidate for president. And not a single Democrat voter has voted for this to happen. But here's our job, Georgia. Pay close attention. Pay close attention. You know, we've had an easy life. We have for decades now. It's been easy to check out, go to work, enjoy your life, do normal, regular people things. But let me inform you of something tough. We don't have that convenience anymore. Georgia, I'm going to tell you something. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's right. Our freedoms, our democracy, our great republic is that weight and responsibility is on our shoulders. That responsibility belongs to this generation. And that means what our responsibility is, Georgia, is we have to show up. You have to have those tough conversations with your friends, your family members, your co-workers, your neighbors. You have to convince them to vote, because I have a little dirty secret to tell you. We have too many people in Georgia that are conservatives, they're MAGA, they're Trump supporters, they're Republicans, but guess what they don't do? They don't vote. They do not vote. Let me tell you, President Trump not only has given up an incredibly extraordinary life that he created for himself and his family. He was our president for 4 years. He has been fighting for the past nearly 4 years to come back to save America. And President Trump, that's right. But not only has he been doing this, all of this for you, he took a bullet for you. He took a bullet for you, and in that moment, we found out who Donald Trump is. Was he a man that stayed on the ground and allowed himself to be swept away under the cover? No. Donald Trump stood up, raised his fist in the air, and he said, fight, fight, fight. And Georgia, that's what we will do. All the way to the election on November 5th, we will fight, 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 fight. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Every single one of you that has a cell phone in this room, every single person watching right now, go to the website, TrumpForce47.com. TrumpForce47.com. It is your responsibility, everyone in this room, it is your responsibility watching this rally right now to find a way to sign up, find a way to protect our elections in Georgia, find a way to be a Trump captain, find a way to volunteer. It's your job, your responsibility, because the road to the White House goes straight through Georgia, and we're gonna win. We're gonna fight. We're gonna save America.
gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Burt Jones.
Coming out to AC/DC, I like that. I might have to go tape my ankles. That reminds me of my playing days right there. So, how's everybody doing today? There's still people piling in right now. It's unbelievable. If you don't think Georgia is Trump country, you've got something coming to you now. Now, please, nobody in this room confuse me. I'm Burt Jones. Absolutely. We didn't start any new wars, but guess what? Everyone around the world knew that if they crossed us or our allies, there was going to be hell to pay, right? So to me, it is clear. I'll leave you with this right now, and I'll just say this, simple as I can. Trump's been fighting for you. Trump's been fighting for me. It's time that we start fighting for Trump. We're going to win in November. We're going to win here in Georgia. We're going to make this state red again. And we can't do it without your help. God bless y'all. God bless the great state of Georgia and USA.
All right, my friends, thank you. Well, it is great to be in Atlanta. Hello, Georgia. Back our country and elect Donald J. Trump once again. It's going to start right here in Georgia. Now, let's recap the last month in political history. We have to remember, just over a month ago, President Trump wiped the floor with Joe Biden on that debate stage, exposing a massive cover-up of the president's mental incapacity. He saved America from 4 more years of the disaster of Joe Biden. And during that same time, Donald Trump accepted our own party's nomination with overwhelming support. We held the most successful convention in history. He took a bullet for this country and didn't miss a single day of work. Now, he did that in 1 month. Just imagine what he's gonna do with 4 more years. Ain't that right? Now, after covering up Joe Biden's incompetence for the last 3.5 years, our friends in the media are at it again. This time, they're gaslighting us on Kamala Harris's radical record. They want to portray her as some kind of sensible moderate, despite all evidence to the contrary. Now, this is the same media that told us, remember, my friends, for 3.5 years that Joe Biden, who couldn't complete a sentence, was Albert Einstein. And now they want to tell us that Kamala Harris is Abraham Lincoln. But anybody who is too blind to see Biden's incompetence, or let's be honest, too dishonest to admit it, doesn't deserve to be commander-in-chief. Kamala Harris is not getting a promotion to the presidency of the United States. The Democrat Party bosses would like to install her as their new nominee and as the next president, but remember, she has not received a single vote for president. Let's actually give Democrat primary voters some credit, because in their primary in 2020, Kamala Harris was so unpopular, she didn't even make it to the first vote being cast. She wasn't in the top 3 in her home state of California. And the reason is Democrat voters know what every American agrees with: America is never going to elect a San Francisco liberal who's so far outside the mainstream. We're not going to elect Kamala Harris as president. Now let us count the ways of the disastrous policies of Kamala Harris. 500,000 kids. I was at the border just a couple of days ago. 500,000 kids have been trafficked by the drug cartels because of her policies. She was the border czar. The media lies to you, but she was. Hardworking Americans cannot afford groceries because of her policies. Gas and energy are through the roof because of her policies. Housing prices are out of control because of her policies. You cannot let in 20 million illegal aliens to compete with Americans for scarce housing and then raise interest rates, which is exactly what Kamala Harris has done. And people right here in Georgia and all across the country have suffered because of it. Now, the media calls her a moderate, but there's nothing the fake news loves more than a fact check, so let's do a fact check. Kamala Harris was the most liberal United States senator during her entire time in public service. As America's border czar, Kamala Harris unleashed the worst border crisis in American history. 10 million illegal aliens have invaded this country. The total, that's what they say, that's the official number, it's probably more than that. Biden-Harris, on day 1, they suspended deportations. They stopped building the border wall. I saw it just a couple days ago. It's sitting there on the ground, ready to be finished, but Kamala Harris won't let them. They reinstated catch and release. Then they proposed amnesty for millions of illegal aliens. Kamala Harris turned Border Patrol into a travel agency for the worst criminals and terrorists all over the world. Now, we have a different message, President Trump and I do. If you're in this country illegally, start packing your bags. You go home in 6 months. Done yet. The border isn't the only thing Kamala Harris has wrecked during her time in office. In 2021, she was the tie-breaking vote on $2 trillion of reckless spending that juiced this inflation crisis and sent a lot of money to China. Well, I don't think we should send money to China. I think we ought to keep it right here at home. Remember the Inflation Reduction Act, which was really the Inflation is a Disaster Act. She cast the deciding vote, triggered the worst affordability crisis in generations. And at the same time, she said that high gas prices were, quote, the price to pay for democracy. A woman who's never earned a vote for President of the United States. That's the price for democracy. Well, it's not the price for democracy, my friends. It's the price we paid for her failed leadership. Now, Harris wants to ban fracking, ban offshore drilling, take away your gas cars. And by the way, I think in America, you ought to be able to drive whatever the hell you want to, because this is America and we believe in freedom. She wants to take away your gas stoves. She even wants to take away your ability to eat red meat. That's how out there she is. That's real. The fake news will fact check it. They'll fact check it true. She actually said that. In other words, she thinks that she's better than us. She thinks she's better than you. She thinks she's smarter than you. She thinks you need to be told how to live your life. But this November, let's tell the Washington elites, let's tell Kamala Harris, mind your own damn business. We're electing Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Now, every time the Democrats attack us and attack our movement, they can't help but tell on themselves. They reveal how much they hate the American people. Now remember this. Remember, Barack Obama said we cling to God and guns. Remember that? Hillary Clinton called us deplorables. And now Kamala Harris says we're weird. Well, Kamala, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about some things that are weird. We think it's weird that Democrats want to put sexually explicit books in toddlers' libraries. We think it's weird that the far left wants to allow biological males to beat the living crap out of women in boxing. We think it's weird for a presidential candidate to bail convicted rapists and murderers out of prison, and that's what Kamala Harris did. And I think it's especially weird when Kamala Harris comes to Atlanta. I believe came here to this arena. Kamala Harris comes to Atlanta and talks with a fake Southern accent, even though she grew up in Canada. You can't make it up. That's pretty weird. Go watch the clip. She sounded like a Southern belle, even though she grew up in Vancouver. It doesn't make any sense. But on November 5th, she can go back to using her San Francisco accent, because we're going to send her packing and we're going to re-elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Now, we can handle the made-up attacks by Democrats and by the media because we're used to it by now. But here's something I can't stomach about Kamala Harris. It's when she has the nerve to question our loyalty to this country. She does. Well, here's what President Trump and I believe about loyalty. Loyalty to this country is closing our border, not opening it up. Loyalty is making life more affordable, not causing inflation because you can't stop sending money like a drunken sailor. Loyalty is safeguarding Medicare for American citizens, not bankrupting it by sending it to illegal aliens, which is what she wants to do. Loyalty is protecting Laken Riley, not allowing an illegal immigrant to take her life. Loyalty is serving in the United States Marine Corps, something I am proud to have done. Loyalty is taking a bullet for this country, something Donald J. Trump did. Kamala Harris, if you want to see the face of disloyalty, look in the damn mirror. Now, for decades, we've gotten used to it. Politicians in Washington have sold out this country. We got to remember when the multinational corporations and the lobbyists called their offices, a lot of them traded American jobs for campaign cash. Now, they'd never admit that, of course. They'd brag about trade deals and they'd promise cheap products. They called it globalization, and that's what it was, sending American jobs to some other part of the globe instead of keeping them right here at home. And if it's up, my friends, if it's up to Kamala Harris, it's going to keep on happening. Let's remember her record. She voted to preserve NAFTA, the very trade deal that sent American jobs to Mexico and turned American dreams into nightmares. Now, she's asking us for a promotion, and I think it's time to say to Kamala Harris, you're fired. The American dream is dying under Kamala Harris. But we're going to save it. We're going to save it for every American, regardless of color or creed, and we're going to do it when we re-elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. That's why we got to do it. You know, President Trump knows a few things that the Washington politicians forgot. He knows that 1 million cheap plastic toys from China is not worth a single American manufacturing job. We're going to rebuild American manufacturing. We're going to rebuild the factories. We're going to rebuild the American dream, and we're going to stamp more products made in the USA. It's a beautiful thing, and that's what we're going to do. Now, I've seen the consequences of electing failed politicians like Kamala Harris. I've seen it in my own hometown, because more often than not, it's the people the Bible calls the least of these that suffer the most when Kamala Harris doesn't do her job. They like to say they're for the little guy, but it's the little guy who hurts the most when Kamala Harris fails. Now, a lot of you know my story. You know how I grew up. I was raised by a strong woman, a Christian grandmother who loved the Lord, but also loved the F word. Ladies and gentlemen, she was a study in contrast. I think there are a few out here just like it. Now people ask me, how is it that you were able to grow up in a poor family, grow up in a family that was struggling, had a lot of chaos and a lot of trouble? And the answer is because, one, this is the greatest country in the world and the American dream is still possible. The second answer is because I had a mamaw who was tough as nails, and she kept me on the right path. Now, I can tell you a lot of stories. But one of my favorite mamaw stories is when I enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps. She was very proud of me. the chorus, but it was a time of war, and Mamaw was not happy that a recruiter had persuaded me to enlist in the Marines. So I remember he came over to our house and started to walk up the steps to her porch, and she said, "Look, if you step one more foot on my porch, I'm gonna blow that thing off." And she had 19 handguns at home, so that was not an idle threat. But that strength and that discipline allowed me to achieve my dreams, and things worked out for me because we love our country, it's a great country, and because there are women like Mamaw all over this country making sure kids are able to achieve their dreams. Thank you. But let's be honest, there were some tough times too. And this goes to the point about Kamala Harris's failures. I remember, the reason Mamaw raised me is because my mom struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my early life. And I'm proud to say that she has been clean and sober for almost 10 years now. I'm so proud of my mom. Thank you. And for all those struggling with this terrible problem of addiction, no, there is hope and there is recovery. It's worth it. You got to keep fighting for it. But we support you and we support your dreams for second chances. But wasn't always that good. Didn't always think that I would get a second chance with my mom. I remember being a kid, waiting at the bedside of my mom, angry that she had taken something she shouldn't have taken, and just praying to God, even though I was so mad, praying to God, please, Jesus, just let her wake up. Don't let this thing be the thing that took her life. And the unfortunate truth, my friends, is that the poison that Kamala Harris has let into this country means there are a lot of kids like me who are not going to have those prayers answered. We're going to remember who we're fighting for. And it's the kids at the side of those bedside tables begging God for their parents to wake up. We're going to make sure that happens. We're going to fight for the people who are struggling in this country. And the contrast between an America led by Kamala Harris and an America led by President Trump, it couldn't be more clear. Remember, President Trump's vision was closed borders and open factories. Kamala Harris's vision is the exact opposite. Open borders and closed factories. Kamala Harris, she wants bigger government that can tell you what to do, and she also wants smaller bank accounts, which I think a lot of us have seen. But Donald Trump, by contrast, delivered record paychecks and the strongest border in history. What an amazing record of accomplishment. Kamala Harris wants to ban fracking and buy energy from every tin pot dictator all over the world. Donald Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. Let's get it from our own workers and our own territory. Kamala Harris wants to raise your taxes, and she wants to make it easier for companies to ship jobs to Mexico and China. Donald Trump wants to lower taxes for hardworking families. In fact, he already did it, and we want to reward companies that hire American and buy American. It's all about protecting the workers in this country. Kamala Harris wants to defund the police and let violent criminals out of jail. Donald Trump wants to lock up the bad guys and back the blue, and he did it for 4 years. He's going to do it again. So I want to send a message out there to those who are struggling, those who are trying to make ends meet. If you're scraping by instead of thriving, I know what that feels like. I know what it's like to choose between paying off the credit card or buying groceries. I know what it's like to watch families fall apart under financial stress. I know what it's like to worry that a parent will never kick that habit, and I know what it's like to worry that that habit is going to eventually claim their lives. But I also know that our national motto is "In God We Trust," and God tells us not to despair, but to hope. Hope And while the media likes to lie about this movement and this party, this movement of ours is about a simple idea. We love this country enough that we will never give up hope, and we will never stop fighting for a better future for everybody, whether they vote for us or not. If you're an American citizen, we love you, and we're going to fight for you. And we know that in this election, the best way to give our people hope for the future is to re-elect the guy who already did it and did it very well, Donald J. Trump, the once and future president of the United States. In just a few months, I believe, this state of Georgia is going to lead a great American restoration, a restoration of safety, of prosperity, and yes, of hope. We're going to secure our borders. We're going to kick out the drugs and the illegal immigrants. We're going to rebuild American manufacturing. We're going to bring jobs back to this country, and we are going to buy American, for our people. It's going to start in Georgia. God bless you all. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to be your next vice president, and we're going to win Georgia and win this country. I love you all. Thank you so much for having me.
one family, and